Hey everybody, this is Jim, the Tabletop Engineer, and welcome to a new playthrough series. This is for the game called Forgotten Ruin, the adventure war game. It is based on the same rules mechanics as 5 Leagues from the Borderlands and 5 Parsecs from Home. In this game, what it is, it's set in a fantasy world, wizards, dragons, monsters, but you will be controlling a battalion, or I guess on the actual playing field, you're going to be doing squads. But a battalion, an army battalion, has somehow been transported into this fantasy world, and they're trying to find a way to get home. And in the previous video, I went ahead and walked through the creation of my squad. And in this first scenario, I'm playing, after you create your squad, you play through these things called field exercises. There are 3 of them. This is number 1. And these are just to sort of get you used to the rules, the movement rules, the combat rules, things like that. In this one, I'm going to be taking only Fire Team 1, which is this center column right here. I have blue, orange, green, and red. The blue is my Fire Team leader. Now, they all have the same stats, but you just you identify one as the leader. They all have assault rifles except for green. He has a saw, which can shoot up to 4 times, which is a very good weapon. At the start of the game, they are on this side of the map. The field exercise tells you to place 2 mobs of 4 each. 1, 2. These are orc warriors, which have very basic stats. They have a speed of 5, a combat of +0, a toughness of 3, and a reaction of, what was the R? Resistance of 0. I think that applies to magic, but in this case, we're not going to be dealing with magic. So what I've done is I've got a little town here. All the residents have run indoors and locked their doors. They know a battle's getting ready to happen because the orcs have come in. What the orcs don't know is that my squad approaching the town is hoping for some information and some help, maybe some food, and they're going to find nobody here because they saw the orcs coming. If I can take care of these orcs, the objective is kill them all or run them off. They do have morale rolls, and we'll get to that. So on my first turn, well, in this game is really interesting. It's not a I go, you go. Instead, what you do is you roll 4 dice for each of your heroes. In this case, I've got 4. So I'm going to be rolling 4. All of these guys have a reaction of either 3 or 2. Now, the fire team leader does have 1 bonus. They have a reaction of +1. So what I will do is, in this game, there is a fast phase where anyone in fast phase will move. Then there's the enemy phase, and then there's the slow phase. And in the fast phase, anyone who I roll these dice, and what I'm trying to do is get equal to or less than these reactions. For example, the fire team leader has a 3. So if I roll a 3, and all the others have a reaction of 2. So let's say I roll a 2 and 2 1s. What I can do is I can assign the 3 to the squad leader to get him to move first. I could have assigned the 2 to the squad leader, but that would be a bad choice because the others have a reaction of 2, and I cannot assign a 3 to it. Now, because they have a reaction of 2, I can also assign them the 1s. All right? But if I roll a 4, for example, that 4 is lost. I can't do anything. All right, so let's go ahead and roll these dice and see what happens. I got a single 1. All right, a single 1. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to assign that to my saw. Why? Because he has a movement of 5, a speed of 5. But if he moves more than half of his movement, he cannot shoot his weapon. So I want to get him moving first. We are going to go right up the center, and I'm going to have him move his full 5. Now, in this game, you get two actions. One of them is a move, and one is an action, like shoot or interact or negotiate, those kind of things. The move action is first, always has to be first, and then you take your alternate action. If you don't take an alternate action, you can perform what's called a dash. A dash is an extra 2 inches if you change directions, or 3 inches if you continue in a straight line. So for example, my saw guy, I could send him 5, which puts him right behind this tree. Now I could move him another 2 over, which would put him behind this tree, but I think I'm happy. I'm happy with him in cover there behind this tree. And then after I do, I turn this die to a 6 to indicate that he is done, and I'll track my other guys just like that. All right, let me rotate this around. Now the enemies, they move together in mobs. There are 2 mobs here, and the rules state that they should be moved in such a way that they always stay within about 1 inch of each other. And it tells you can eyeball it. What I do is, because the enemy doesn't know about me, and I don't know yet about them, they will do random movement until they see a living creature, which would be my squad. Now, this isn't in the rules. It just sort of makes sense. They're nervous. They don't want to get ambushed. So their movements will be determined by maybe what we would call their mob leader. So let's see where this one's going to move. I use this die, and wherever it's pointing, that's the direction they'll move. If it points back at the rear, they will move that, and then they will move either left or right, depending on the orientation of the die, another. So it's kind of like there's an invisible wall here, and it's just to get them their maximum movement. If they encounter a solid like a building, again, they will move left or right to continue their movement. All right, let's see where this one goes. It's going to go this way. So they can move 5. So the first one here, actually what I'll do is I'm going to use the back one as the leader. If he moves 5, that would put him here. So everybody's going to move, what I should probably do is just move this one 3 and then 2 this way. This one will move 3 and 2, 3 and 2, 3 and 2. All right. They are in cover, and they will stay in cover. The rules are kind of weird here. It says that they want to try to stay in cover. They will do dashes to get them in cover, but they won't use a dash that puts them out in the open. So that's why I'm keeping them right there. Let's do these guys. This way, all right? So they're coming up the middle as well. So if I point it this way, they would go 3 and 2, 3 and 2, 3 and 2, 3 and 2. They're basically right there. And that is the end of their turn. And then I come over and I do slow phase. Slow phase is where all my other soldiers will react. Now, I have the advantage here. They have melee weapons. I have ranged weapons. So I want to take advantage of the fact that my soldiers know that a lot of the creatures and monsters here lack long-range weapons. Now, there are archers. And once archers come into play, it's a whole different game. But right now, there are no archers. Now, I don't know that, so I'm going to try to stay in cover. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to break them up into 2 groups of 2. So my squad leader is going to stay with the saw guy, and he can move 5, and if he dashes, he can move a full 8. Why is that important? Because I want to put him up here in this corner, and that is only 7.5 inches. So he will run all the way up here, and he is done. I'll put a 6 there. These guys are going to go 5 and 3 is 8. This one could get behind here, or I could move 5, and then 2 would put me here. I'm going to try to get to the left. Let's go a full 8, which would put me behind this rock right there. And that one's moved. And then this guy can move 8. Now he would be in the open. So let's just move him up 5, which puts him right here. And then he'll move another 2. I'm just going to move him up 1 more, and he's going to stay in cover. And that is the end of the round. No combat this round. So we do the cleanup phase where I pick these. Now normally you would also roll for morale. Morale works like this. Let's say I kill one of their soldiers. When one of their mob goes out, I just set a dice aside. At the end of the turn, for every enemy that was killed during that round, I will roll a d6. If I roll, they have a morale roll, and I believe the morale is usually a 1 or a 2. I may have to look that up. I think I forgot to do that. Morale is definitely toughness 3. I'll have to figure that out. I know it's in the combat rules for morale. As a matter of fact, I want to find it because it will become important, and I think you should know it. I should know it by now, but unfortunately, I haven't played some of the 5 leagues and 5 stuff. Here it is, morale. You roll a number of d6s. Every 1 on a morale die causes another figure to be removed. It's like they flee the battlefield. Keep rolling until none of the dice show a 1. So you just roll a d6 for each enemy that you killed in the previous round. All right, it's my turn. We're back to fast round. Let's go ahead and roll 4 dice. I rolled a 3, a 3, a 2, and a 6. Well, the good news is the 3 and the 2 can be assigned. I can now, if I peek out around this corner, I will be able to see them. Maybe not. It's kind of hard to see them. They've got plenty of cover. I am going to assign it to my leader. Actually, no, I'm going to assign it to, I'm going to give it to my leader and to this guy. I want to keep moving up. All right, my leader is going to give an option to the Saw. He's going to tell the Saw to move up with, I'm sorry, no he's not. Saw will move on slow. He will climb the stairs to get up here. Stairs don't count, they're just stairs. And I believe I can see, let me see if I can mark him. I'm gonna have to spin it around here and see if I can see my captain. And I cannot. There's a tree in the way. Shoot. So maybe that wasn't a good idea. But you know what? He doesn't know. He moved up there hoping he could get the height. It's not. He was looking over here. There's nothing over there, but he is done. Now I'm going to send this one up. I want to get into cover. So I could get to the house. You know, if they're usually the rules are if they're in touch with a structure, they're in partial cover, and I could get him to that house. But the real question is, how far can he go? He cannot get 8 inches. Dashing would not get him into cover. So instead, I'm just going to move him up here, and he is done. I'm taking it slow and easy. I want the enemy. I'm looking for enemies. I want to see if they show themselves first. So we come over to these guys. Now these guys are obviously moving up. So I'm just going to continue them moving in this direction. I rolled randomly to see where their initial reaction was. If I'd have rolled them this way, I would have just had them keep going this direction. But since they moved this way, now I kind of have a direction. The leader wants to get in the center and look around. So these guys will all move 5. Now the best thing they can do is get in cover. 5 plus 3 is 8. My guys move 5. Okay, so we have the same movement. They could all get here. There's really not a lot of cover out here in the open, but they could go to the left and get over here. So I'm going to move them 5, which gets them all up here. I'm going to rotate this so you can see. So they're right there. And then I'm going to move them another 3. Well, they'd have to move straight, so they will not. They are going to stay in cover. And same with these guys. These guys are going to move up, all within 1 inch of each other, and they're going to try to stay in cover. They don't see me yet. I probably don't see them, and that is okay. So they're moving into the center of town to look for civilians, food, anything they could steal. Now, my guys a couple of them can see the enemy. If my Saw guy steps out, he will see them, and his range can fire 4 bullets. That would be really nice. All right, it's time for some combat. All right, my Saw guy will move slow. He will step out 1 inch, which is not his full movement, or not half, so he can fire his weapon. He looks and he sees 2 of the orcs down here. He can actually, I'll just move out 2 full inches, and he can fire at the front 2. He fires 4 dice. His weapon fires 4 shots. Now, it has to be within, the range is, it's 18. I'll bet you I won't make it. Oh, no, I am within 18 inches. The range of the saw weapon is 18 inches max if you move, 36 if you stay stationary. So he moved, so it's 18, but thankfully it's only 17 to those front 2. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to roll 4 6-sided dice. Each one of those represents one of the shots this weapon can make. And what I'm looking for is hits. Now, these creatures are in the open, but they're in cover. They are in view, but they are in cover. And the rules are different for whether a creature is in range and in the open, or in range and in cover. And in this case, a 4 or higher, target is in the open. Well, they are not in the open. They are in cover. So I have to roll 6s or higher to hit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to roll 2. I'm going to roll all 4 for the one in front. I'm shooting at the same guy. Actually, I'm going to roll 2 shots, and then I'll do 2 more. Let's see if I hit him. I need a 6, and I missed. So my last 2 shots are a 3 and a 4, and I miss. All right, well, we've alerted them that we're here, and he moved, so he gets a die to indicate he is done. And then lastly is this hero right here, hiding behind a rock. If he steps to the left, he's got a shot at one of them. His range of weapon is, he has an automatic weapon. It's a assault rifle. It has a range of 36. Well, it says 24 or 36. I think the 24 is if they move. The 36 is if they, yeah. Okay, so range of 24, which is definitely within range, because this was 17, so that's definitely within range. Now, the assault rifle only has 1 shot. It says if the shooter does not move, they may reroll a natural 1, but I'm going to have to move out of cover to take that shot. But because I'm moving out of cover, the range drops to 1. I can make a movement, and he is in the open. I can draw a direct line of shot to this one with no cover bonus. So I need to roll a 4 or higher on this shot. So I will roll a die on a 4 or higher. I rolled a 4, so that is a hit. Now, just because you hit doesn't mean you kill it. Every creature, every enemy has a toughness value. The toughness of the orcs is 3. You roll a die, and on a 4, you have to beat the toughness. I'm going to double check that, but I'm pretty sure you have to beat the toughness. Hit resolution. If the roll is equal or above the toughness, okay, so it can be equal. So 3 or higher is what I need. And I rolled a 3. So I knocked out this orc. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to place a red die to indicate morale, or I'll need to make a morale roll at the end of the turn. And it is the end of the turn because all my guys have moved and taken shots. So I'll roll this red die, and on a 1, another one of them will flee. I'm going to roll it on the table so you can see it. I rolled a 1. So I'm going to take the one closest to a battle edge, and they flee. And that is excellent. All right, let me collect my dice. Now there is, after the slow phase, there is there's another phase called, let me get to it real quick. There's the enemy action phase, and I can't remember what it is. Sorry. It goes reaction roll, quick phase, enemy phase, slow phase. Then there's something called the aggression phase. This particular scenario says ignore aggression. I will cover aggression when I get to a game that it uses aggression. But basically, aggression is just making the enemies more dangerous. And then finally is the end phase. And the end phase is where you clean up your dice, you check for any conditions that might affect your soldiers, like, I don't know, poison, things like that. And then you roll. Then you go back to the roll. So let's roll my 4 dice. I got a 3, a 2, a 1, and a 6. So this is excellent. I can assign this to 3 soldiers. I'm going to give the 3 to my captain, or my fire team leader. I'm going to give the 2 to my saw, And I'm going to give the 1 to this guy right here. Because oh, you know what I never did? I never moved him. Let me retro that, and he needs to move, because remember, this guy shot in the fast phase. No, he shot in, oh, it's slow phase. He moved, but he didn't. I am going to move over. Oh, hold on. Can I get to that wagon in 8? I can. He's going to run all the way over to the wagon for full cover. He's going to duck. I'm treating him as duck down. All right, now I will assign this 1 to him. He might get lucky and take another shot out. All right, the captain knows that the saw, I will have him go first. He's not going to move. He's not going to move. So he will roll, he'll roll 4 dice, and he will hit, he's just going to fire at the same target. 4 dice, and I need 6s to hit. And believe it or not, I got 2 6s. So that's 2 hits. And remember, I roll these hits, and on a 3 or higher, they will take him out. That's a hit and a hit, but 1 hit's enough, and it manages to kill another orc, which gets me a morale roll at the end of the turn, and he is done. Let's have the guy hiding behind the wagon right here. He can fire at him. Now, he's in half cover. Half of his body's exposed, but it's worth taking a shot. It's still going to be a 6 to hit, but I'm hunkered down, and these guys have no melee weapons, or have only melee weapons, so I can see they have swords and axes, so I'm going to try to hold the range and hit him with a 6 or higher. And I rolled a 5, and I miss. So he is done. And then lastly, my captain is going to move. He will move over here to the stairs. And now I think I can see this one, and it's going to be in cover, so he will need a 6 or higher to hit as well. I rolled a 2, and I miss. All right, the captain, whoops, the captain is done. Remind myself not to spin the table too fast, or the trees fall off. Okay, it is now the enemy phase. Come around here. The enemies, they know I'm there, so they're going to want to stay in cover, but they need to move forward to attack. This one can totally get over here, but he's not going to be enough to get in cover, but he could move behind this rock. But that means this one who moves with him is going to be out in the open. So instead, well, they don't want to. This one is going to move into cover behind the rock. And then this one will move 5, which will put him behind here. And if he dashes, he knows he'll be in the open, so he'll stay put. These 3, they see us over there, so they're going to try to get into cover or out of range. They can move a full 8 over to this tree. 8 would get him here, and these 2 over here. So I'm out of view of the captain and the saw. So they are in cover, and that is it. I've got 1 more soldier here behind the house, right there. He can he? He cannot. There's a piece of obstacle here blocking. So, but these 2 know about these 2. They ran over. So I need to try to get better position. I'm going to move him up 5, and then I'm going to move him into cover with his buddy, and he is done. He cannot take a shot. All right, roll the morale roll. Does 1 disappear? I rolled another 1. So we'll take it from one of these. One of these guys just books it off the field, and that is the end of that. All right, my turn. Right here, I will roll my 4 dice. Let's see what happens. I got a 1 and a 3. That's all I can assign. The captain gets the 3, and the 1 I will get to this guy so that he can move up to this wagon. All right, the captain will go 1, 2, 3. We'll say that's 4, 5, and then he sees one, and I'll give him cover. He's partially in cover. The captain will fire. He needs a 6. I rolled a 4, and he misses. Over here, the guy behind the wagon can move up to 5, 7, which is plenty to get him up into cover behind this wagon, and he is done. All right, enemy phase. All right, this enemy here knows I'm behind the wagon. He will also run up and take cover behind the wagon. This one will run and get behind the rock, and then 2 more he can get in cover. So I got 2 over here, and then these 2 are going to try to make it up here to the house. 8 inches would get me to right here. They're still in cover, so this one will move here, and this one in the back will move there, and they're good to go. That leaves me with 2 of my guys. The saw guy turns. He sees that one, but remember, they're in cover. So he knows that they're coming around the side. So he's going to back up into cover here in the trees, and he is done. I do not want to leave him exposed. And then lastly, this one right here will move over behind the tree. He can see them. Your soldiers each have 2 grenades. I'm going to play a grenade rule. You pick a point, and any enemies within 2 inches of that will automatically get a hit. But first you have to hit the point. I'm going to put the point right here. So there, I'm going to bang it against this tree. They're within range. I have to try to hit this target. So the way grenades work, and it's on page, if you're wanting to see the rules, it is on page, sorry, let me, hand-to-hand, grenade, where was grenades? Grenades were grenade targeting. They do not have to target, you may place the impact point, okay, here it is. Make a single hit roll normally. Okay, to hit this, it's in the open and it's within range, so I have to roll a 4 or higher. What happens if I miss? If you miss, you roll a d6 and a random die, and it will roll up to 6 inches in a random direction. I really want to hit this tree. I need a 4 or higher. I got a 3. I miss. All right. Darn it. Okay, so from that point, the direction the grenade is going to bounce, I'm going to roll it on the table, is that way. So, and then how many inches? Only 1 inch. Well, guess what? It hits the tree, and it bounces back, and this guy is within 1, and I'm pretty sure that guy is within 2 inches. We'll say he's not. So this one automatically gets a hit from the grenade. So you just roll the die. On a 3 or higher, it will get killed. A 3, it kills this one, which gives me, where did I put this? I don't remember. Which gets me a red die to roll to morale roll in a moment. And he is, remember, he moved out to throw a grenade, so he is done. That is the end of the turn. Let's roll morale to see if any one of them run. They do not. Okay. Pick these up and roll for combat. Now, what happens if one of your soldiers dies? Well, if one of your regular grunts dies, you just replace them in the next game. You have a squad, a battalion to pull from. It's just understood that you replace them. But what happens is when you start leveling up your guys, when they get improvements, you don't want to lose them, because then you just get a regular old level 1, level 0 grunt. All right, let's do this. I got a single 2 and a 3. All right, the captain, you know what? I'm going to give the 3 to the 3 has to go to the captain. You know what? I got the captain and the saw guy reversed. Oh, no, the saw guy's here. The captain's here. That's what it was. And then I'm going to give this the 2, or was it a 1? It doesn't matter. It goes to this guy. I'm going to throw another grenade. I've got 2 grenades, and that's all I can do. So I'm going to throw a grenade right there. I need a 4 or higher. I got a 2. I missed. It's going to bounce 1 inch in which direction? Well, the good news is maybe it'll go this way. Where's my yellow die? Here it is. Which way? You can't see it, but it's going that, so it moves even closer to him. That is a hit. Does it kill him on a 3 or higher? It does, and the grenade takes him out, which gives me another morale die roll. All right, that is it for the fast phase. Let's come over. These 2 enemies, they don't know that well, maybe they do. They probably sense or hear the howls of pain. They are going to go, all right, are they going to go straight or are they going to go this way? This one's where they could go either way. Let's see what they're going to do. They're going to go this way. So they're going to sneak up 5 inches, which is going to put them behind this tree and against the wall, and they are going to stay put. They're trying to ambush me getting closer, but that's probably not going to work for them. And then finally, slow phase. Slow phase would be my saw guy and this guy over here. This guy, can he see them coming sneaking? He can see one, but if he moves here, he could get a shot in. He'll move. That one has no cover. Now the one behind him does, but that would be a 4 or higher because he is definitely within range. I rolled a 1 and I miss. And then my saw guy is going to move. He's trying to get a better angle, so he's going to come over here behind these trees, and he is done. And that is it for the slow phase. Now we roll this die on a 1. One of them is going to run. I rolled a 4, so they do not flee. All right, time for fast phase again. Let's roll our initiative. Let's roll some dice. I got a 3, a 2, oops, a 4, and a 2. So good. 3 of my guys can take shots. I will give the 3 to the captain again, who is right here. And by the way, I never moved the captain last turn, but that's okay. I want him staying put. I'm going to give the 2 to the one that took a shot a minute ago. And I'm going to give the other one to the grenade guy to get at it from under cover. We're going to try to flush them. All right, this one right here will take another shot. It's open and within range. I need a 4 or higher. I got a 2, and he misses. If I'd have rolled a 1 because I didn't move, that's like an aim. I could have re-rolled that, but he's done. All right, this one right here will move into cover here, and he is done. I'm not going to have him move anymore. I should have had this one move into cover, but he wanted to take the shot. And then lastly, the captain is going to, they're going to come around and reveal themselves. So the captain's going to just go here into cover, and he is done. These orcs, this is their last-ditch effort. They are going to come at me. So they will move 5 and then a bonus 2. They're trying to get to cover. So 5 for this one would put it right about here as the crow flies. 2 will move him up. And then this one, 5, would also move him around. Now he's not going to be able to make it into cover, so he'll just run forward. Now the problem is I may have a melee hand-to-hand in a moment if I don't kill these guys. All right, that is it for the enemy phase. Slow phase, saw guy, will move out 2.5 so he can shoot. He's got him in his sights right there. He will roll 4 dice, but he's going to roll them individually. First shot at the closest one. I rolled a 3. That is not a hit. Second one, same guy. I rolled a 2. That is a miss. A 4 will hit. Does it kill him if it beats his toughness of 3? It does, and takes that one out. I get a morale roll die. And then lastly, his last shot, will it hit the 1? It misses, so he is done. And I need to put a 6 on him. And that is it for the slow phase. All I need to do, and I roll a morale. If I roll a 1, this one's going to run away. And he does. Yay, fleas, and that is the end of that. All right. That was the very first scenario of combat. Pretty cool. That is called, these were called, there's 3 of them, and they are the, if I can find it, the field exercises. So it says, the objective of the exercise is to destroy all the orcs, which I did. Now, if I do all 3 of the exercises, it says when you finish them, you get 2 support points. Support points can be used to call in like artillery or napalm. I joke, but that's probably a thing. You can call it in and get some help. All right, that is it. Let me tell you about the next. Exercise. It says you will pick the other fire team. So I'll take fire team number 2. And then also add your platoon sergeant, which will be a 5th player. You will be facing 2 mobs, 6 orc warriors and 6 orc archers. Okay, these were warriors. So next time I will be going up against 6 warriors who are melee and 6 archers. It says the archers must be set up in cover. Place some trees or low walls. Okay, you may use a single leadership tactic in this mission. Leadership tactics are kind of cool. They are, they're things you can do that call in extra. Like, for instance, it says firepower. 1 soldier may shoot twice. Light them up. Every soldier firing an assault rifle may shoot twice this turn. So that's going to come in helpful. I got to remember that I have it, and we shall see. All right, that's all I got. This is Forgotten Ruin. I hope you like it. I think it's going to be fun. I've always wanted to play a game where you had wizards versus soldiers with weapons. And so now I've got it. Dragons, orcs, spells, you name it. This is a mixture of the 2 genres, and I think it's going to be fun. All right, I'll be back in a week with the next episode. Until then, everybody, take care.
Check out the new RPG and Wargame newsletter. Each week the Tabletop Engineer shares news, products, Kickstarters, and much more related to the gaming hobby. It's free to subscribe, so check out the link in the video description below to sign up.